Hi, I'm Matt.
And I'm Tom.
And this is a park bench. Yes, it's night because for some reason we always do this way too late in the day.
Because you have a job.
Yes, actually, yes.
Yes. And we get questions from time to time. Me in particular, how did you get to where you are? What do I need to do at university to end up doing something? And then the sentence normally ends with computers.
Which is a funny one, really, because I don't know anyone that has the same story for that kind of thing.
No. And I don't work with computers.
And I'm okay, although I work in technology. I'm actually a broadcast engineer, which isn't not in the usual, tech scene of people just sitting at computers.
Yeah, despite doing videos about computer science and being on Computer Farm, doing all that, that was always a hobby for me. That was how I put myself through university, was by doing the stuff I didn't find as interesting as a job.
So shall we go through what we did?
What we actually did, yeah.
And then where we are, and
Yeah.
if that's of any use to you, then great. And if it's not of any use and you just find it interesting,
And all those of you who are over 25 and happily settled in a career, do laugh at our mistakes, because you will probably recognise some of your own in there as well. Because I did linguistics.
you did the degree at York.
Yes, which is where
We both met,
yeah.
as you probably already know. If you're watching these, you're going to know that, aren't
Yeah. How about you? What did you do?
you? I did electronic engineering with music technology systems.
Wow, I never knew that. I just thought you did music.
No, electronic engineering. Now, what I thought after I did my A-levels at school, last qualification at
Yeah,
17,
after you
18?
finished high school.
You have this thing called a UCAS form, which is what you use to send off uni, and there's 6 spaces that you can choose, 6 universities.
I'm doing a long video about this on my channel.
Oh, are you?
Yeah,
Cool.
with an American.
But you may or may not get into these unis. I could only find 2 with a course that sounded interesting to me. There was one, I think it was at Huddersfield, that did a music tech course. It had Patrick Stewart as their chancellor.
Oh, that's yeah, 'cause he's from around there,
Yeah.
not he? Yeah.
Perfect.
Pretty much the only good thing to say about Huddersfield. I don't like Huddersfield, sorry.
It's got a couple of good pubs, the station pubs, 2 station pubs. So yes, there was the music tech course at Huddersfield, and then the electronic engineering with music technology systems course at York, which I thought, I'll go for the slightly more, more
Yeah.
hardcore course.
Yes.
Evening.
Jogger.
Which, in hindsight, may not have been the best idea. Okay, I'm great. I'm glad I've got where I was now.
Yeah.
The course wasn't exactly for me. It was very mathsy, very theory-y.
Theory. Yeah.
Theory.
It's good. Words.
How did you find yours?
I kind of walked into the linguistics department and there it was. Boom! Yes! Sorry.
This is an airplane. That's airplane.
I liked my course, but if I'm honest, I didn't go to university for the degree. I went to university because it gave me, because I was one of the last, I was the last year before top-up fees came along, which was a massive increase in student tuition in the UK.
Yeah.
So I went at the time when, for someone from for someone from my background, yeah, you went to uni. That's what you did.
Because it was free.
No, well, it
Almost,
wasn't. It wasn't free. I still have several £1,000s of student debt, but I don't think my tuition fees never got into 5 figures. I think they were always kind of low 4 figures for the years I was there.
Yeah, okay.
So that was what you did, and linguistics sounded interesting, and that's what I filled in on my form. So all right, I want to go and do linguistics, and so I did. I spent 3 years doing that.
Was it only 3 years?
Yeah. I did 3 years. Then I did 2 years part-time educational studies as a research degree, which was blatantly an excuse to spend 2 more years working part-time on that and not joining the real world. Like, that was blatant.
I did something similar.
Yeah?
I didn't get into it, but after my I did a 3-year course, which I scraped through. I got 3rd class honours in it, and then applied for a master's in theatre, film and TV production.
Oh, yeah.
Which I didn't get into.
Yeah, because you needed...
I needed to have
Yeah.
the first, basically.
Yeah. Worth a try. Always worth a try. And then I did a year in the Students' Union, which is a story I'll talk about in another video. Dear, one of the worst years of my life. Don't ever go into a Students' Union.
It's like politics, but no one gives a.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
It's like politics. And then I moved down to London. And all through that, like the tuition fees for my master's degree, I paid for by building web toys for people, by doing the stuff that I still do now. I built websites, web games, silly things like that. And by that point, I'd built up enough of a following, enough word-of-mouth reputation that I could put myself through uni based on that. And when I moved down to London, I had a few months. Basically, I knew I was going to be bankrupt in 3-4 months, and each month I was able to push that back by somewhere between 2 and 6 weeks. And the 2 weeks were the rough ones, and the 6 weeks were the good ones.
Yeah.
6 years later, here I am doing something utterly unrelated.
Sort of flip-flop between freelance work, sourcing your own projects, and,
Yeah.
and then bits of paid work as well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and so I remember you staying around York for a little while after your degree.
So, while I was doing my degree, I found student radio, which I hadn't considered. Like, I've always enjoyed listening to the radio. Always had wanted to look inside a radio studio. Never actually managed it by that point, but sort of didn't really care much anymore.
Yeah.
And then there was a, what do they call it, a Freshers' Fair,
Yeah.
where they all the societies at the university.
Yeah,
So uni societies.
for Americans, I need to explain this.
Yeah.
And I can do. So this is a video I'm doing over on the other channel, so I've been doing the research. US universities do have societies, like the radio group, but they're not a big thing. They're just kind of what happens.
It's like after-school clubs, but everyone
Yeah.
sorts of doing it. Sort of does it because it's a way of finding people that are like-minded.
And Britain doesn't have fraternities and sororities.
I don't even know what that even means. I'm gonna have to watch your video.
Societies do that job, and they're based around interests. Sports clubs also do that as well. So there are all sorts that you join up at the first. Oh, right, I'm not going back to that. I'm not going back to that. Oh, okay, university radio.
So, yeah, the ones I ended up going through were the university radio, university TV, and juggling.
Yes.
So I started off doing engineering-y stuff there because I'd always liked putting on little gigs and stuff throughout
Were
school.
you part of words? Were you part of Ents Tech?
No.
Ah, right. That was the people who set up the physical gigs.
Yeah, student-run gig.
Yeah. No, so you were always broadcast engineering all the way through, which is not something you decided to do, or before coming to uni?
It wasn't something I even at uni had considered was a thing people got paid for doing.
Yeah. Okay.
So I made friends with a couple of the other broadcast engineers, ended up coming into the studio, poking things and go, oh, that's broken, I'll fix it while I'm here. And,
oh, that's how they get you.
Yeah.
That's how they get you.
and had a lot of fun doing it. I ended up chief engineer of the student radio station for, 2-3 years. And
I deliberately didn't do any kind of jobs at York because I hated going to meetings. So I basically just turned up, did a terrible DJ show from time to time, and then we started up Tech Diff with a couple of. Well, you weren't even at uni when that started. We'll tell that story when we've got Gary and Matt in a few months.
My grounding for what I was doing, I did the student radio stuff, which I've waffled on about for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Student TV as well. I help point cameras. It's just, if you can think of anything that you can put on camera, like YouTube.
Yeah.
But 10 years
Pre-YouTube.
ago now, you could do it with a proper equipment. Like the radio studio was a proper radio studio with proper professional equipment. Same with the TV stuff.
I never asked this. How did you go from doing that as URY, University Radio York, to doing that as a job? What was the jumping point?
The second year that I was doing the radio stuff, the student radio conference came to York.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't really aware of it until it was nearly there. I thought, oh, okay, may as well go along to that, see what it is. And then a guy from a radio station that was called Galaxy at the time in Leeds came along and talked about some of their back-end equipment. I was thinking...
Sorry, we're all just going to have a moment while we giggle at back-end equipment. Carry on.
He didn't get his ass out.
How'd it go? Move it on.
The company that the BBC used for all their broadcast engineering were doing a graduate scheme. I'm thinking, aha, yes, I'll get applied for that, was in the shortlist, and then they cancelled it because of the recession.
Oh, yeah.
But that was always there in my mind.
Yeah.
So there's, what is it? It was called Media UK at the time. I think it's called Media Info.
Okay.
Their website.
Yes.
And Media Guardian. And both these sites have all media job listings.
Yes.
So from that point onwards, I had regular emails,
Yep.
digests, and lots of refreshing.
So did you actually apply? You went through the formal route.
Not until 2 years after I had graduated.
Right, okay.
I did other jobs at the time.
Yep.
I got to the point where I was thinking, okay, rather than doing odd bits of freelance work and bits and bobs here and there, I'm going to have to get a proper job now to pay my way. So get the proper job. Day one, night before, I spot a job listing for a broadcast engineering for Global Radio in Wrexham.
Yep.
At which point I go, yes, yes. No idea where Wrexham is. I'm applying for that. Oh, it's Wales. Fine. I'll do that.
You lived in Wales.
The first day of my new job, I have to say, sorry, I'm going to an interview in Wales.
What was the old job, the one you left?
It was an IT support maternity cover for
Yeah.
the psychology department.
So it was still at the uni.
I was there
Still at
2
the uni.
weeks. Yeah.
So okay, what can we distill from this entire thing? If we wanted to bundle this up as advice for folks in uni and high school watching this who want to go into what they think is their dream career, is that first of all, you're probably wrong about what your dream career is. Because you didn't even know broadcast engineering was a thing.
But I didn't know what, until that point,
Yeah.
I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was doing, I'll do that degree, it sounds vaguely interesting. I like electronics, I like...
Yeah. I had like 3 years of my life where I was sure I wanted to be a journalist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, terrible idea.
Ah.
Yeah, I thought it was great. No, I want to go and write things for newspapers because they were a thing back then.
It's getting some experience, seeing what they actually do.
Yeah. I went out and I got work experience at a newspaper and discovered, no, that was not somewhere I wanted to work. And I tried various things and never decided what I wanted.
So we've got sort of two steps here. You sort
Yeah.
of think about what you think you want to do, then see what it's like.
Yes.
Hell, most people are happy to share what they do because
Yeah. It's also word of mouth.
Yeah.
Word of mouth is incredibly important. I know that you traditionally applied for a job, but my God, I've never held down a proper job in my life. I really haven't. Have we provided any useful advice for people?
I don't know, but there's one bit of advice I was always told, like when I was trying to work out how to get into
Yeah.
what I'm doing, was just ask people to
Yes.
go and have a look.
Yes.
Don't necessarily spam them with requests,
Yeah.
but I would happily receive emails
Yeah.
from people that are
Yeah.
passionate about what they want to do and can prove that. And want to
And
have a look.
sometimes the answer is going to be no.
Yeah.
Like often the answer is going to be no. But there's a
Or being ignored completely. There is
Yeah.
no answer.
Yeah.
I sent out loads of letters and emails saying, "Oh, can I just come and have a look or see
Yeah.
what you do?" And you get bugger all back. But
there is a line in a novella by Larry Niven, which is called Flash Crowd, which is a very good novella.
referencing.
Yes. But it has a line in there that has stuck with me for some reason, and it is never be afraid of wasting the big man's time.
Huh.
They can always turn you down. They can always say no. And how
But what if they say yes?
Yeah. I get emails sometimes like, can you send this thing out? Can you help with this? And the answer is almost always no, because it's not my area of expertise. It's not something I can trust. And ultimately, I'm not the kind of person that can do work experience. But
Yeah.
never be afraid of wasting someone's time, because they can just hit delete.
We got a few of that with Emojily, I suppose. We
Yeah,
got
we
people
did.
that's like, "Oh, you're great. Can I come in and have a
Oh my
play
God, we
with your
did.
code for a bit?"
I forgot that. No, we had people who said they'd run it for us.
Yeah.
Which is, thank you very much for the offer. We couldn't take it on for many, many reasons.
Yeah.
But it's worth a shot, because sometimes you get a yes.
Yeah.
Which is
And,
how I ended
fair
up
play
as-
to them. Like
yeah.
it's unfortunate the way that it was all happened that we couldn't.
Yes.
But and like the whole the whole thing of people not realizing we weren't a company and
Yeah.
stuff. Blah, 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 blah. But just go for it. If
Yeah.
just even ring up the reception of a company that does the kind of thing you want to do, saying, "Oh, I met Thingy the other day. What was his name? He was a whatchamacallit."
Oh, I can't endorse social engineering on it, but if it works,
I've had that suggested to me by a couple of people
Yeah.
before. I've never done it myself.
never. The big advice that I always give, my advice changed. My first year of uni, it was never turn down a chance to go out. Like if someone comes to your door at 9 at night, which literally happened on my second week of uni, and say, "Tom, we're having a party. Do you want to come?" It's like I have an 8 a.m. lecture. Hell with it. Let's give it a try.
Yeah.
That became never turn down a chance, which it just became never turn things down. There are good reasons to from time to time, and if you anyone who say there's the old saying that you regret 100% of the shots that you don't take. which is absolutely true, but you do regret some of the shots that you do take. But yeah, don't turn down a chance. That's
And I
the,
suppose if the chance turns out to be crap, you can always leave.
yeah.
You can always go, not for
No.
me. And people will understand that.
Yeah.
Because you won't be wasting their time. If you go,
Yeah.
rather
Yeah.
than them spending another amount of time doing things.
So go do things.
yeah.
So right, here is me doing my motivational speech to it, doing my child do it thing. There is going to be people watching this who are going, I am procrastinating right now, I should be doing a thing. I'm not going to ask you to do the thing. But if there's someone you've been meaning to, because I have terrible trouble sending emails.
Yeah.
I
Do you look at the screen?
I look at the
majority
screen.
of the email there and you're going,
I might just go and do something else. Send the damn email. Send the damn
Yeah.
email to someone you want to talk to and do a thing with, because it might work out.
yeah.
Go do that now. Stop watching. Go.
Pause. There's a pause
Go.
button.
Well,
There's a pause
we're going to end it here, aren't we? It's blatantly going to go. Dun. You're editing this one, aren't you?
button. Hi, I'm Matt.
And I'm Tom.
And I've forgotten what I was going to say.